let's talk about a financial mystery, one that might be happening in your own life, right now, completely hidden in plain sight.
Just think about that for a second. I'm not talking about some big, obvious hack. Nope. This is more like a tiny, almost invisible drip. A constant drain that you just don't notice, until it's way, way too late.
So our story starts with exactly that. A puzzling little thing that happened every single month, like clockwork.
$213 every single month. This exact amount would just vanish from one guy's bank account. There was no notification, no warning, it was just gone. And listen, this wasn't some high roller who was just, careless with his cash. Not at all.
He was just like you, just like me. He paid his rent, he bought groceries, he was doing all the responsible things we're all supposed to do, right? And here's the really scary part. He'd check his balance once in a while, and on the surface, everything looked totally fine. The big numbers seemed to add up, so he never even thought to question the little ones. So, what was actually causing this slow financial bleed? Well, when he finally decided to look closer, the answer was surprisingly simple. Turns out, the culprits were shockingly simple. This wasn't some sophisticated scam. No, it was the kind of stuff we all sign up for, a subscription he'd totally forgotten about, and one of those so-called features on a credit card he never even asked for. You see a charge like this, $9.99. It pops up in your account, you see it, but you barely even register it, right? I mean, that's less than a cup of coffee in some places. What's the harm? Then maybe another one, $14.99. A little bigger, sure, but still small enough to just fly under the radar. It's just a few bucks. It's so easy to tell yourself it just doesn't matter. And that's the whole psychological trick, isn't it? These little charges, they don't feel dangerous. They're like little financial mosquitoes, Annoying maybe, but not a real threat. So what did he do? What would most of us do? He ignored them. So what happens when these harmless little charges are just left unchecked? Well, this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. The slow bleed just kept going. First, months passed. Then, those months silently piled up and turned into years. All those tiny little transactions just stacking on top of each other. And then, one day, he finally did it. He had this nagging feeling, that feeling that something's just not right. So he finally sat down and did the math he'd probably been avoiding for years. And the total, wow, it wasn't a couple $100, it was thousands. An absolutely astonishing amount of money, all built from these tiny, seemingly insignificant charges over time. And this is why this whole thing matters so much. This wasn't just numbers on a screen. That was money he worked overtime for. It was his effort, his extra hours. It was a vacation he could have taken, but never did, a debt he could have paid off, an investment he never made, and it was all just gone. Okay, so this isn't just a story about some other guy. This is the part where we turn the mirror on you, on us. Because the scariest part about all of this is that he wasn't careless. He wasn't bad with money. He wasn't the problem. The system of all these tiny, forgettable charges, that was the problem. He is not an outlier. He's just like most of us, trying to manage our money in a world that is full of these little automated payment traps. And right now, as you're listening to this, there is almost certainly something charging you too. A little ghost in your own ledger, a forgotten trial, some old service you don't use anymore, a fee you never even knew existed, just quietly taking your money. So that leaves us with the final and honestly the most important question. If you checked your bank statement today, right now, would you even notice it?